how much is a sufficient amount to get an E2 visa? Now, first off, I'm not an immigration attorney. You should definitely talk to a couple immigration attorneys to see their opinion. And it's going to depend on the type of business. So in our experience at Visa Franchise, we've advised over 500 investors throughout the world, 60 plus countries, on different franchises eligible for the E2 visa. We've had approvals at $70,000. We've also had denials when the client invests $70,000. In our experience, if you're from a country like Canada, where there's a great relationship with the United States, you can generally get approved for $100,000, maybe even a little less. If you're from a country where there's not as good of a relationship with the United States, and that could be like Pakistan, it's going to probably be 150, 200K plus. They're going to look a lot harder at your application. So the US government would never tell you it varies country by country, but in our experience, it kind of does. And that consulate officer is going to be a lot more rigid. So again, if you're from also a country where a lot of the investors are pushing the envelope, like we've seen with Argentina, where we've seen Argentines try with a very low amount or get approved for a business that they don't actually follow up with, and they try to get approved again in 5 years, the consulate officers are gonna get much more skeptical of businesses that come across from that consular post. And they're probably gonna look a lot more into how much money it really costs to get that business off the ground. And they might fall back and deny you for some reason that's different, but cite the substantial investment requirement for the E2 visa. So in terms of for our clients, how much to invest with a franchise, it's pretty straightforward. In the item 7 of the FDD, the franchisor is legally obliged, and it's regulated by the Federal Trade Commission, to disclose the low amount and the high amount for the investment. So that includes everything from the franchise fee to the real estate deposit, any fees to accountants to start up the business, anything you need to get the business going. And they also include working capital, additional funds, and that's generally going to be anywhere from 3 to 6 months to get the business up and running. And hopefully, depending on the business model, that's enough where you don't have to inject any further capital. And yes, you're going to have money on the side to cover your living expenses. We always recommend at least $50,000 of side money just to cover your living expenses until the business really gets off the ground. So investing $70,000, if your attorney is very confident that you're going to get approved, go for it. I would be a little hesitant. I've seen denials in that investment range. I haven't seen any denials over $250,000 where it was based on the business. We have had limited cases where someone was denied, but it was someone that never had a visa to the United States, and they were denied for personal reasons, and they had invested over $250,000. With all that being said, we've never had a denied client, no matter what the investment amount is, for cases where they tried twice. So if they were denied the initial time trying with $70,000, they invested more capital, spent money on Google ads, Facebook ads. They made sure that the lease was executed, and they got up to $120,000 and then reapplied. So if you're tight on capital, that could be an option. But the downside with that is, do you want to wait another 6 months to get the E2 visa? And then you have to talk back to the franchisor, as your attorney might have negotiated, where you have 6 months to open up instead of the standard 3 months to open up the business from the time you sign. So it kind of becomes a snowball where if you're denied for some reason, then it's going to cause a lot of strains for everyone that helped you initially in the process, including the attorneys, the franchisor, us at Visa Franchise. So, ideally over $100,000, follow what's required by the franchise investment per the item 7 of the FDD, and you can cite that to the consulate officer and talk to a few immigration attorneys, see what they think, especially if you're trying to invest less than $100,000. I'd probably want to get a couple opinions and not just rely on one immigration attorney to say, yes, you can invest $50K and you're probably going to get approved or to a high degree of certainty. Again, we're not immigration attorneys. We help you find and analyze franchise businesses in the United States that should be eligible for the E2 visa. So I'm curious, anyone that already has an E2 visa, or if you're looking to apply for an E2 visa, how much are you planning to invest, or how much did you invest for your E2 visa? I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. Thanks.